Welcome back, Patriots, to the Ball Brad Show. It is Thursday, May 9th, and Joe Biden. Good old Joey. This is my favorite part. The geriatric, the puppet, the child sniffer, the guy that hits a golf ball backwards. That really did happen. Falls up a flight of stairs so often that the Secret Service is mandating that he takes the short staircase to get on Air Force One. I didn't even know before he was president that there was a short staircase to get on Air Force One. This dude is looking for dead people in the crowd, and he's also conversing with dead people in meetings. People that have been dead for 40 years, longer than I've been alive. And it's not like he's just hearing them. He's full-fledged interacting and seeing them and having conversations and making negotiations with them. This dude is not fit to hold office, but we're told that he's sharp. We're told that this guy's physique is that of like a UFC fighter. Folks, this is a guy that trips over a sandbag at a graduation ceremony and can't get himself back up. But we're told that he exercises 4 hours a day. We're told that they can't get him to sit down, folks. He's just so in shape. This dude sits there and fights with his teleprompter every single day. It's the most insane statistic that not everybody talks about. It's the most insane statistic in all of politics. The teleprompter is undefeated, and they duke it out every single day. We need to get like a heavyweight belt, you know, like they have in wrestling for that teleprompter, so Joe Biden could just stare at it right in the eyes and get all intimidated. Joe Biden, folks, I'm telling you, this guy is the worst president by far, not even close in American history. Patriots, it's great to be back with you on this fun Thursday morning, and boy, oh boy, do we have a gem of a video clip to show you here. We're kicking the show off right. Okay, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. We got Joey here lying through his crooked ass teeth regarding a litany of things, and believe it or not, CNN actually showed up. I know you're going, what the hell? Some of you just spit out your coffee, you pulled over your car because you just almost got in a car accident. I said that. CNN showed up. I don't know where this has been from CNN, but dude, they slapping Joey around in this clip, folks. They are laying the law on Joey, and just watch how he lies through his damn teeth. Here we go.
So when you talk about the economy, of course, it is by far the most important issue for voters. It's also true right now, Mr. President, that voters by a wide margin trust Trump more on the economy. They say that in polls. And part of the reason for that may be the numbers. And you're aware of many of these, of course. The cost of buying a home in the United States is double what it was when you look at your monthly costs from before the pandemic. Real income, when you account for inflation, is actually down since you took office. Economic growth last week, far short of expectations. Consumer confidence, maybe no surprise, is near a 2-year low. With less than 6 months to go to Election Day, are you worried that you're running out of time to turn that around?
We've already turned it around. Look at the Michigan survey. For 65% of American people think they're in good shape economically. They think the nation's not in good shape, but they're personally in good shape. The polling data has been...
You guys, majority of Americans are having to dip into their savings. That's not in good shape. They're dipping into their emergency fund, Joey. It's called an emergency because things aren't going well, Joe. But according to him, everyone's doing great. 65% feel things are going awesome.
Wrong all along. How many you guys do a poll with CNN? How many folks you have to call to get one response? The idea that we're in a situation where things are so bad. The folks we've created more jobs. We're in a situation where people have access to good paying jobs. And the last I saw...
She just got done saying, you nut job, that real wages are down. What are you talking about?
The combination of the inflation, the cost of inflation, all those things, that's really worrisome to people with good reason. That's why I'm working very hard to bring the cost of rentals down, to increase the number of homes that are available.
Did he just say he's bringing the cost of rentals down? For whom? For whom? The illegals that you're bringing into this country? That's the only people I can think of. My rent's not going down. I've never even heard of somebody's rent going down. What the hell are you talking about?
But let me say it this way. When I started this administration, people were saying there's going to be a collapse of the economy. We have the strongest economy in the world. Let me say it again, in the world.
Although GDP last week was far short of expectations.
Oh, it wasn't. Look, GDP is still growing. Look at the response of the markets. Overwhelmingly positive. Overwhelmingly positive. And one of the reasons why people feel good about it not being as strong as it was before is they believe that the Fed's going to respond.
They hope they're going to get a rate cut.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, no president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs. And
no president has ever come into office after the globe, the entire planet, you idiot, was shut down. What are you talking? Well, nobody's ever had to come into office and create 15 million new jobs. You didn't create anything. People just went back to work, and you took that as an accomplishment for yourself and go, look at all the jobs I created. You didn't create anything. There's a reason why Microsoft laid off like 15,000 people, Amazon another 10,000. Like, these major corporations are just laying off people in the freaking tens of thousands, Joe. Things aren't going well. You're lying right now.
Bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office.
What?
9%. But look.
What? Did we just hear that? Can we go back? Did I just hear that he said that inflation was at 9% when he came into office? Did anybody else? We're going back. Oh, we're not letting him get away with this one. Here we go. We're going back. No way in hell.
But, I mean, no president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office. 9%. But, look, people have a right to be concerned. Ordinary people, the idea that you bounce a check and you get a $30 fee for bouncing the check, I change that. You can't charge more than $8 for that. Or your credit card, your late payment, $35. I mean, there's corporate greed going on out there.
Holy crap. Hey, don't worry, guys. He changed the cost of your inhaler. He's lying through his freaking dentures. Joey, you did not come in when inflation was at 9%. You freaking liar. We have it right here. Joey is lying to all of you. When Trump was there and Joey, when you came in the office, it was less than 2%, buddy. It was 1.4%, you freaking liar. It got up to 9.1% when you were in office there in 2022, Joey. In 2022. Okay? 40-year high, never saw it in my lifetime. A lot of people haven't seen it in their lifetime. And he's going to sit there, I created 12 billion new jobs. Oh, the economy's doing great. People are just doing well on an individual basis. Really, Joe? Then why are real wages down? Why are people dipping into an emergency fund, which is only reserved for emergencies? Why are people struggling so hard to pay their freaking bills? Gee, Joe, I wonder if it has to do with the fact that maybe you sat there and woke up and crawled out of your gross-ass bed and go, hey, you know what? I think today I'm just going to send out trillions of dollars in stimulus checks, not even manage it correctly, and to just pump the economy full of money and just kind of see what happens. So you get 9.1 inflation, and you're going to blame it on everybody else other than yourself, and you're going to sit there and bullshit us and gaslight us as if we're idiots, which we're not, and tell us that everything is fine. Folks, he's known to be a liar. He is known to be a liar. We have it right here. Joey's lying again. He lies about his son. He lies about his family. He lies and goes, I was an advocate for black people. I was an activist. No, you weren't, and you were called out for it. I drove 18-wheelers. That's what he said like 2 weeks ago. I drove 18-wheelers. I moved stuff around. I was in transportation. No, you weren't. I taught this at law school. No, you didn't. And Democrats like, 4 more years, but this guy, fucking 4 more years, he's the best. He created 15 million new jobs. Look at Joey, he's the best. Go Joey, groupie. Folks, these people, I'm telling you, Democrats, some of them are waking up. Some of them are not. Joey here claimed on Wednesday, just completely blurted it out, that one of his childhood Catholic school teachers was drafted by the Green Bay Packers. The dude just, he soil his diaper and he picks it up and he throws it at you because it's crap. An assertion disproven by a simple freaking fact check of publicly available NFL records. So he sits there and he goes, my theology professor at a Catholic school I went to was a guy named Riley, last name, and he had been drafted by the Green Bay Packers. And everybody in that room just eating it up. Just, oh my God, could you believe it? Could you believe it? No, we can't, Joe, because according to the Pro Football Reference, the Packers have only drafted a single person ever with all these last name Rileys since 1936, Joe. So Joe was still around probably in 1936, and he still didn't have a damn clue what's going on. One person And that person wasn't ever in education. So he's just pulling shit out of his ass. I worked in the coal mines in Pennsylvania. No, you didn't, Joe. No, you didn't. And nobody, you guys, I get so frustrated because we had to hear from these whiny snowflakes for 8 years going on about Donald Trump lying about this, lying about that. Oh, he's not really a big billionaire. He's still a billionaire. Who cares? Joe lies every week. You don't hear shit from our Democrat friends. You don't remember on Facebook, you guys, and like Vine when that was around, and Instagram for 4 years in 2016, we had to hear these people bitch and complain about how terrible Donald Trump is. And now you have an actual president that's terrible, and you don't hear anything. You don't hear a peep from these Democrats. It's so remarkable. They couldn't shut their mouths for 365 days. I had to see them go out in the streets, burn our cities down, bitch and complain, make shit up left and right. And now all of a sudden, when their dude's in office and he's sitting there crapping on the country and making stuff up every week, we can do a new article every week on what Joe Biden makes up. Folks, just the other week, he was talking about how his freaking uncle was eaten by cannibals. Like, I swear he wakes up and goes, how much can I get away with lying today? My teacher was drafted by the Packers. It wouldn't surprise me if he woke up and goes, I played for Green Bay in 1945. And Democrats like, holy shit, he's a Green Bay Packers player. Hell yeah, there you go, yeah, Joey. Like, I love hanging out with you guys. What you write in the live chat is hilarious in the comment section. You guys got to simmer down. Some of you are going, my comments were deleted by YouTube because you're getting too spicy. I love it. I don't delete anybody's comments, but YouTube does. YouTube removes my videos. I get flagged every video from YouTube. I'm so tired of their crap. Gotta wet my whistle a little bit. By the way, if you want a mug, folks, we do sell these. Links in the description. Look, 2-cent profit. If that, I can't actually make it any lower. They won't let me go lower than 2-cent profit. I can't go in the negative, though, folks. Can't go in the negative here. Okay, our next one is dealing with Joey as well. Now, I'm trying to understand why Joe Biden sat there and goes, I'm not going to give one of our allies munitions where they're surrounded by a bunch of countries that want to exterminate them. I'm talking about Israel. There are countries all around them that want to see them wiped off the face of the earth. And Joe Biden wakes up going, I'm not going to give them munitions so they can protect themselves, while at the same time they're going, our relationship with them is ironclad. Really? So you're not giving them munitions, of which you impeached Donald Trump for doing something very similar. And at the same time, you sat there and negotiated with Egypt, Qatar, and Hamas and never included Israel in the deal, so much so that Hamas publicly accepts the deal and the Iranians are going, what the fuck are you talking about? And making them look stupid. Turns out Joe knows all about it. And Karine Jean-Pierre, when asked about it in the White House press briefing, lied. No, we had no clue. Not an idea. So who's lying here? The Egyptians? Qatar? Hamas? Israel? I don't know. It sounds like this dipshit's the one that's lying here. So here's why he's halting the munitions. And it's not a good reason. Okay. So you got President Biden. Some of you are like, he ain't my president. He's the president, unfortunately. Halted a large shipment of aerial bombs to Israel last week in an effort to force the IDF to bend to his wishes as he faces backlash from the anti-Semitic forces within his own party. Now, he's getting backlash from all directions, but this is what he was supposedly going to ship to them: 1,800 2,000-pound bombs and 1,700 500-pound bombs, which were probably going to be dropped on Hamas, which turned bombs into precision-guided, smart bombs, all these other things. Well, Biden stopped the shipment to protest Israel's decision to go forward with trying to eliminate the Hamas terrorists that remain within the Gaza city of Rafah. So Joe Biden's like, got his panties in the bunch, he shit all over himself and goes, I'm not going to let you do this. You don't get any munitions. So Netanyahu's like, well, screw it. I'm just going to go in regardless. Screw you, man. And rightfully so. What are you doing, Joe? I think we all have this question. What the hell are you doing? They're our ally. They just had their own 9/11. and you're not going to sit there and support them. This guy ruins everything. Remember how we were told for years, again, just got done complaining and bitching, complaining about our friends, the Democrat side of the aisle, for 4 years, this guy's terrible, he's going to ruin World War III, we're all screwed. Really? Because Barack Obama just gave a bunch of terrorist supporters $1 billion when he was in office and allowed for Iran to move and go ahead with a nuclear weapon. Donald Trump fixes everything and actually goes against terrorism, got rid of ISIS. Joe Biden comes in office, gives the Iranians $10 billion so they can spend it on terrorism, pulls it out of Afghanistan, leaves billions of dollars of military-grade equipment to freaking terrorists, the Taliban, our enemies, which we're giving them $40 million every 2 weeks. Yes, you heard that correctly. If you weren't aware, we're not only giving Iran, the leading sponsor of terrorism, $10 billion to spend on terrorism, and the White House going, well, they can't spend on terrorism. We're giving the Taliban, who we spent 20 years fighting, $40 million every 2 weeks. On top of, they got Blackhawks, they got Humvees, they got night vision goggles, they got all our armor and equipment. Joe Biden has been funding terrorists since he's been in office. Insane. And the Democrats, fuck yeah, 4 more years for this, hell yeah, 4 more years. Folks, we can't do another four more years of Joey, okay? We were in a recession. We got lucky to get out of it. We spilled into it. We put our foot in. We don't like that. Joe Biden gets another 4 years. We can't do it. So he's sitting there screwing over our allies. They need our support. People want to wipe them off the face of the earth. Now is not the time to sit there and be a little crybaby, Joey, because you don't like the way that they're doing things. They have every right to sit there and run roughshod over Hamas terrorists. Sadly, there's going to be casualties. Welcome to war. I know you forgot, Joe. You should have been around World War II. Should have been around the Vietnam War, Joe. Pretty terrible things that took place, but that's what war looks like. That's why you don't want to go to war. That's why you want everybody to be in peace, but because Joe Biden's so weak, Joe Biden is so frail, that's why you had Russia decide, I'm going to go in and try to take over the Ukrainians. That's why you got China doing military drills off the coast of Taiwan. That's why you got Iran funding the Houthis to go after our merchant vessels all across the globe. That's why you have terrorism that's flourishing across the globe. That's why you have the Palestinians supporting Hamas, a terrorist organization, running roughshod into Israel and killing 1,700 people. That's why you have all this taking place. Nobody after around when Donald Trump was in office. We all know why, because Donald Trump has cojones. Donald Trump has the American balls, baby, and you ain't gonna mess with the shaft. All right, so there's Joey for you, being an idiot, and now we got our answer of why he sat there and didn't want to do it. But don't worry, he won't be impeached, you guys. No. This guy could go on camera and tell Ukrainians that they're not going to get the $1 billion unless they fire the guy that's looking into the hood under his shell companies, as well as his son and his son's business partner, Devin Archer, the Burisma Holdings firm. Okay? So he doesn't ever get in trouble, but Donald Trump makes a phone call with Zelensky. We got to impeach the guy for that. Well, speaking of Hamas, holy shit, I can't believe this happened again. Hamas has sat there and opened fire on the Gaza pier again. This is not the first time. The first time was like 2 weeks ago, where the United Nations was on this thing, as well as military personnel from the United States, and a terrorist attack happened. I look, it's astonishing to me. You have these idiots on college campuses, I've always said this, are going and chanting for the genocide of the Jews. All the while, they're complaining that the Jews are allegedly committing genocide against the Palestinian people. Okay? So what are we doing? We're trying to bring food and water through a pier, but also through the skies, of dropping food and water to people so they don't experience famine. All the while, these nut jobs on college campuses that support Hamas, a terrorist organization, and the Iranians that support terrorists as well, are sitting there going, we need food and water to stay alive. We need humanitarian aid on college campuses. They're so stupid. Rather than buying your $500 tents, rather than spending your dumbass time in a freaking tent singing Kumbaya to each other and asking for the genocide of the Jews, why don't you take some of that money and, I don't know, maybe buy food for the people that are actually experiencing famine that you're supporting? It was so wild on college campuses. These idiots were bringing in food to the protesters. Why not take that very food and give it to the people in Palestine so maybe they don't experience famine? So while we try to build this bridge, the terrorist organization that's supported by 70% of Palestinians that are getting their asses handed to them by the Iranians are now attacking the thing that's going to bring in food and water to those people. We lived so ass backwards. It's insane. And I'm telling you, folks, this pier here is not just to bring food and water. I'm telling you, we're going to be shipping people out. We're going to be shipping people out, and I'll get to that in just one moment. I was one of the first people that I'm aware of. I watched Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Andrew Klavan. I listened to Candace Owens. I listened to Charlie Kirk. I listened to Fox News. I listened to Greg Gutfeld. I listened to all these people, Dan Bongino every morning. Not a single person had this Tim Pool. Nobody sat there and said, I think this pier, or at least Joe Biden's going to bring refugees into the United States. Go back to my videos. We were first here, and you're damn right I'm going to claim it because we're a small channel. And I got to set myself against everybody else that are the big dogs. We still got it here, folks. And that's why we got the Ball Brad Army. That's why we're sitting here as a community, because we get damn things right. We're on top of it. So this pier, I think, is going to sit there, and they're going to start shipping people to the United States. We'll get there in just one moment. So Israeli media reported Wednesday night that Hamas terrorists fired rockets at a pier that U.S. military is constructing off the coast of Gaza. But don't worry, you guys. There's no boots on the ground. There's no boots on the ground. There's literally boots on the ground in Gaza right now. Israel's Channel 13 reported that in the morning and in the afternoon, missiles were launched towards the area where the Americans are currently building the seaport. The attack from Hamas did not cause any casualties or damage, but represented yet another example of the Islamic terrorist organization preventing humanitarian aid from entering Gaza. Isn't it amazing that we could just snap of the fingers, go build a fucking pier for another country that's going to be sitting there and transporting things, but yet when Hawaii gets ran over like Maui, Joe Biden just doesn't show up. There's no building there. There's no taking care of those people that are actually American citizens. Joe Biden just looks the other way. Or like East Palestine, Ohio, where the train derailment happened. Joe Biden just took like 3 years for him to show up, and he had to be invited to do so. Yet Donald Trump showed up like really quickly to all of that. It's astonishing that no help goes over there, right? Well, we had FEMA there in like 48 hours. Awesome. Where's the president at on all this? Like, can the guy at least show that he cares about everybody in America rather than everybody else around the globe? Because there's a constant theme with Democrats on supporting everybody else in the world rather than actual Americans. But don't worry, you guys, real wages are up. The economy's looking great. No, it's not, you buffoon. You're an idiot. You don't even know your damn name. You don't know your wife's name. You don't know where you're at, and you're running this country in the ground. You're destroying relations with our allies, and you're creating a cluster bleep here all across the globe. Now, the attacks come after Secretary Lloyd Austin claimed last week that he saw no indication that the terrorist group was going to attack the U.S. building the pier. Folks, they've already attacked it. What the hell is it? We covered it. They've already attacked it. What the are you talking about? I don't discuss intelligence information at the podium, but I don't see any indications currently that there's an active intent to do that. This is a combat zone, and a number of things can happen. So these people aren't with us, folks. Pentagon doesn't have it. How is it a dude in his closet can sit here and relay news about the pier already have been attacked by a terrorist organization like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago? And the Pentagon just comes out and goes, oh, well, we didn't think it was going to happen. Oh, it happened last night. These people, I struggle to almost find any faith in our military, and it's a scary thing to say because I'm a big supporter of the military, folks. I love the flag. I love this country. A little worried at the present time. Well, other things that are happening with that is critics pan Biden plan to bring Gaza refugees in the United States, terrorists entering our homeland. Gee, God, it sounds a lot like what I said was going to happen, right? It's not one of those things like I'm proud to say I told you so, but I told you so. A possible Biden administration plan to begin allowing refugees from Gaza into the U.S. has faced significant pushback, with critics calling attention to potential national security risks. Folks, you have to ask yourself at least this question. So if there's any libs or Dems that somehow filtered your way in here, ask yourself this. Why is it that no other country in the globe, on this planet, is willing to take in refugees from Gaza? Not one. Just name me one. Why not? It's a little weird, right? Like, why is the Iranians not taking them in? Little weird. The leading sponsor of terror isn't even willing to take in the Palestinians. You have to ask yourself, why? Clearly they know something that Joey doesn't, because you don't know who these people are. They elected Hamas in the office. 70% of them love what Hamas did to the Israelis on October 7th. There was a poll done. They full-fledged support a terrorist organization. And Joe Biden wants to allow them here. We've seen videotape after videotape of these people coming in that immigrated over here, that want to sit there and implement Sharia law, that we're going to take over you guys at some point. You guys are going to be the minority, and you're not going to be able to do anything because we're going to be the ones that rule it. We've seen the videos time and time and time again. We literally just covered it the other day. We demand that your administration cease planning for accepting Gazan refugees until you adequately answer our concerns and focus your attention instead on securing the release of U.S. hostages held by Hamas. 36 Republican senators last week said this. The letter came after CBS News reported the Biden administration was considering multiple plans to bring in Gazan refugees to the United States, with senior officials discussing the possibility of accepting refugees who have immediate family members already in the U.S. Guys, they pulled the same bullshit with immigration. We'll place you with family members that are connected to you. Just let us know. Just let them loose in the interior of the country. Court dates a decade into the future. Joe Biden's not going to be freaking alive when they have their court dates. We don't know who any of them are. We know that there's people coming across on the terrorist watch list. There's terrorists in the country. Joe Biden's to the point. He loves terrorism so much that he's willing to just let terrorists run roughshod in the country. Just go do what you want. And Democrats, 4 more years for terrorists, Joe. 4 more years. I mean, as far as I'm aware of, I can't name that many presidents that have given this much leeway to freaking terrorists. He's given them $40 million every 2 weeks in Afghanistan to the Taliban. People that we sat there and fought against for like 20 freaking years, 2 decades. He's given $10 billion to the Iranians. He's given money to, he gave military equipment to the Houthis. This is so insane. And Democrats just, no, he didn't. No way. No, he didn't. Joe would never do that. They're not with us. I know I'm repeating myself to you guys. You're in here every day with me. You have to understand they're not with us. They're not waking up. If they voted for Joe Biden, they voted for Joey the first time. A guy that drools into a drip tray should have a helmet on when he's walking around the White House so he doesn't bump into something and kill himself. This guy, ain't all there. Meaning the people that voted for him, guess what? They ain't all there either. Hate to say it. And there's a lot of people that think Joe Biden's better than Donald Trump. Just look on TikTok and look on all social media. They ain't with us, folks. They ain't with us. Well, we got some other things going on regarding legislation to block Biden admin from handing out health care coverage to illegal immigrants. So you have these people that are coming across the border, not all of them, some of them are raping our children. They're going after and sex trafficking our children. They're assaulting our children. They're doing all these things to our children. They're murdering our children. They're murdering Americans. They're selling drugs in our country. They're violent gang members. Like, not all of them, but some of them are. And these people, you, yes, sirree, you right there in the live chat with me, are paying for their education. You're paying for their health care. You're paying for their transportation. You're paying for their food. You're paying for their rental assistance. Should I keep going? You're paying for all these things, their lawyer fees, their court date fees, at least the fees that they're going to have in court. You're paying for all of this, folks, their food. Like, it's really a remarkable thing. I know I said food, but it gets expensive after a while. Yeah, these people, you're funding their entire lives. Chicago, I swear, people write to me like, Brad, there's no way that what you're saying is truthful. We've shown the receipts. Chicago's paying them $84,000 a year. How many of you make hand to God, how many of you making $84,000 a year? That's not even, that is so remarkably over the median household income of Americans. And you're paying them individually $84,000 a year. They're making more, not doing anything. Unbelievable. So Republicans here of Minnesota and Texas introduced legislation on Wednesday to block taxpayer-funded health care for illegal immigrants. The Daily Wire, or rather Daily Caller, exclusively learned the representatives introduced a Congressional Review Act to strike President Joe Biden's finalized extensions of Obamacare to tens of thousands of illegal immigrants covered under DACA Action Childhood Arrivals. How about, you always have the Democrats, right? We needed Obamacare because Americans aren't able to get quality health care, whatever bullshit they were trying to push back in 2008. Question, if you're so worried about Americans not having health care, why are you giving so much health care to people that aren't Americans? That's the question. A little weird, right? It's like, man, Americans can't sit there and pay their rent. You just heard Joe Biden, we're bringing down rental assistance to illegal immigrants, not to Americans. Man, Americans are struggling with their grocery bill, but let's go ahead and fund and pay for the entire grocery bill of illegal immigrants. There's a constant theme here. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what? Our American citizens, they're sleeping on the streets. Like, we got to put them up in hotel rooms. No, fuck that. We're kicking them out of the hotel rooms and putting up illegals in the hotel room. Hey, Joe, we got veterans that You know, they need a hot meal, a nice shower, and a nice place to sleep because they serve this country, Joe. So we're going to put up in hotel rooms. Oh, no, fuck that. We're going to put people that are from Afghanistan and Iraq in those hotel rooms in which those guys fought in Afghanistan and Iraq to save your asses. I know it sounds satirical, but it's real. You guys, you have to understand this. I'm never going to come to the consensus that this is normal. I'm never going to sit there and not have this energy, this passion for how insane everything has gotten. It's not going to leave, because the second we become desensitized to this is the second that we just given up our rights and allow somebody that isn't supposed to be here in the first place just run roughshod and take over our country. It ain't going to happen. I'm sorry. That ain't going to happen. Our rights are enshrined. You have a right above everybody else. That ain't going to happen. So, with all this taking place, let me take a swig of my coffee. Holy Lordy. You guys having a good time? Are we having a good time or what here? I love hanging out with you, Patriots. I say it every morning. That's why we do it, folks. That's why we do it. Again, if you want to become a member here, we got a membership tab right here, folks. 99 cents a month, $4.99 or $9.99. But if you hit that like and subscribe button, I'm telling you, the subscription is free. You don't have to pay any money. It's not going to ask you for a credit card. You'll have to log in and have an account, but that's all free, folks. You don't have to pay for anything. If you choose to, there's a membership tab, but you just hanging out with us. That's all that we really want. And leave us a comment down below on how terrible Joey is. Be careful, folks. YouTube's watching our channel, okay? I see the stuff that you guys write, and I can't believe that you get away with it and I don't. They flag me for saying the same stuff you guys do in the comment section. So sometimes they sit there and delete you guys. You guys get put in like, the free speech jail is what some of you call it. Again, it ain't me doing it, but it's funny how you get away with some of your stuff and I don't. I say something, they flag me. You're getting hit with this strike. Like, shut up, you big babies on YouTube. Not you guys, but the people that work at YouTube. I would never. You guys are patriots. We get each other, right? Like Neil always says, Pat, Shib, everybody, hey, we got each other's backs, boys. We got each other's backs. Well, Chicago's pissed off now. The Democrats in Chicago are pissed. So Chicago residents expressed frustration and anger with President Joe Biden ahead of his visit to the city, warning that black voters are turning on the Democrat Party in huge numbers. It's about time. Like, haven't we been saying as Republicans since the inception of our party that we're the good guys? Like, we literally helped free the slaves. Like we gave our lives for freeing black people. Like, you know what I mean? And somehow we're the racists and Nazis. It's truly remarkable. It's like the Democrat Party is the party of slavery, the party of the Klan, the party of anti-civil rights. And somehow they're like, want to be a Democrat. They're going to help us. No, they're not. We want you to flourish. I'm not going to give you a handout. I don't care what your race is. I don't think you need a handout, but I'm there to support you and encourage you and uplift you and say, you could do it, man. Just go out there and do it. There ain't anybody holding you back. Don't play that victim. If somebody wants to be an a-hole and sit there and discriminate against you, give them the double middle finger and you work that much harder to be successful. I've had people sit there and say racist things and hold me back before many of times. I've talked about it with my book. If you guys want me to go in detail of how an institution, and I know their names, I just don't know if I'm allowed to say it because I don't want to be sued up my what, but a major publisher would not sit there and look at my book, even though we signed NDAs, even though we actually agreed upon it. I had an editor that edits Joe Biden's book, and all the major politicians fully on board with it, and sat there and told, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to get in trouble. And I mean that in all seriousness. I don't know if I'll get sued, but I'm not saying their names. Maybe at some point in the future. I've also been told by one of the biggest talent agencies in the world that they will not even bother looking at me because I'm white. Exact quote. You will not be looked at because you are white. So did I sit there and go, racism and discrimination, this institutional and structural? No, I sat there and said, fuck it. I'm still going to create my book. I'm still going to get it out there because I got a lot of patriots that be interested in this. And you know what? They'll support me. I don't need the left support. I need the patriots support because they support me. I support them. We support this country, and that's how we have a better place. While the left tries to tear us down, we're going to sit there and uplift one another. And well, now Chicago's actually realizing that Democrats want to sit there and tear your city down. But granted, Chicago residents voted for it. So you're getting what you deserved. And it's sad that it has to come to this, that you sat there and allowed your city to crumble with illegal immigrants, where you're paying them $84,000 a year, to your education system being crumbled and defunded, to defunding the police, allowing crime to go through the roof with all the murders and the assaults and the shootings and the gang violence. It's sad that it's now. It's taken you decades to wake your asses up to the fact that your voting behavior has led to this. So don't blame it on the politicians. They're doing exactly what they were told to do because they promised you that they were going to fulfill whatever you wanted to do. You wanted to push this crap. And so now that you're realizing that it was a bad decision because that's what Republicans have been telling you for decades, you didn't want to listen. Now you're finally waking up to the fact going, God, maybe I don't want to vote Democrat. Maybe it's Republicans that want my safety. Maybe it's Republicans that want businesses to flourish. Maybe it's Republicans that want more money in my pocket. Maybe it's Republicans that want to sit there and actually be fiscally responsible. Maybe it's all these things Republicans where the Democrats suck ass at doing everything. Hell yeah, that was on point. Woo! I'm sweating so bad in here. I'm red, but you guys, when you see me go like this, it's because I'm sweating. I'm wiping sweat. It just doesn't come across in the 4K. The city is completely fed up with Democrat Party. We are stepping over illegals every day. They are now trying to break into people's homes. Gas is through the roof. Groceries are through the roof. Violence is up. Nothing is comfortable under Democrat leadership. We're all moving on. Wow. Welcome. Look, I'll call you out. I'm more than happy for you to vote for Donald Trump because you realize it, but I'm also going to call your asses out for how stupid you are for voting Democrat for that long. Like, how stupid. I want you to vote Republican. I need you to vote Republican because we need Donald Trump in office. And you know what? Things are so bad. You guys have been saying this. I appreciate your guys' optimism. I'm at heart a pessimist. Okay? I think things are so bad. I don't think Donald Trump is going to be able to fix everything. There are a lot of talks about us dipping into a recession. I don't know. We'll have to see. I hope I eat my words. I think Donald Trump's going to be obviously a benefit. I just think things are so bad and that we're relying on Donald Trump to fix the damage that Joe Biden has done in 4 years. I just don't know if he's capable of doing it in 4 years. I'm hoping like one of his sons runs after, you know what I mean? Or we can get somebody like that's like a Trump that puts America first so we could fix this. I think it needs a couple presidencies. That's how bad things are. Debt is bad. Inflation is bad. The reserve screwed us over. Housing's not going to be fixed for a while. You got automakers screwing things up as well. You guys, we dug ourselves a hole here. And by dug ourselves a hole, I mean Joe Biden and the Democrat Party has been just running this country into the ground for decades. And it's going to take some time. I appreciate your guys' optimism, and I hope you're right. I'm voting for Trump in 2024. I've been outspoken about it. I voted for the guy. This will be my third time. I voted him in 2016. I voted for him in 2020. I'm voting for him in 2024. Like, I'm a supporter of Trump. I think, and I hope that he does well. But I just think there's so much damage that we're setting our expectation level for him so high that I think we're going to be disappointed when he doesn't meet the expectations we're trying to put on him. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's fair for anybody based on what happened. Joe Biden's expectations were low because everything was just shut down. All you had to do was open everything back up, ride on Trump's coattails, and you would have been successful. But everybody, stimulus checks, boom, 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 stimulus checks for everybody. And it's like, defund the police, fuck fossil fuel industry, we're going to do this. So gas prices increase. Like, it was insane. Like, he went out of his way to destroy this country. 10 million illegal aliens in here. We don't have the money to support them. It's running budgets through the roof in terms of state levels. I mean, you guys, we're so screwed. Hopefully Trump's back in office so that we don't have to deal with this idiot again or this idiot. Look at that. You don't have a clue. Did you guys see at the beginning of this, by the way? Hold on a second. Look at that. He was trying to keep up with everything she was saying. You don't know what's going on. I'm wondering what's the earpiece. You know, is it in the ear that we can't see? Well, anywho, folks, that's the show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I felt good about this one. Always feel good hanging out with you guys every single morning. Be on the lookout here in a couple weeks when we start going live every morning. I think I'm going to do it. I'll push myself to wake up at the butt crack of dawn and hang out with all you fine patriots because you deserve it. You give your hard-earned money to the show. You give your time. Leave me a comment down below, guys. I read every single one, and I need a good laugh. I need a good laugh. So maybe rip Joey for me in the comment section so I can get a nice laugh. And it does support the channel greatly. Please don't feel like you have to give your hard-earned money. I always say this. It's only for those that feel like they're getting a lot out of it and have the funds necessary to do it. We're in Bidenomics. Get a pinch. Every penny is important. If you want to give 99 cents a month, yes, it's not a day, a month. We do have a membership over here for the Ball Brad Army. You want to go insane, we got it all the way up to $9.99. Again, you just watching, hitting that like and subscribe button. That part's free. Hitting the subscribe button, hitting that like button, leave us a comment down below. Costs no money. You just got to make sure you have a YouTube account. And it does support the show greatly, you guys. YouTube does track your watch time. So please, if you do decide to click on this video or any of my videos in the future, even if you're not interested in it, you just pop it on mute and just watch it. Because if you watch it even for 5 seconds, it won't send my videos out there. It's actually capturing your 5 seconds and it messes with the watch time. So for example, if I have a 30-minute video and a lot of people watch half of it, but then a few people watch, the lower end, it actually will condense it down to like the average watch time, say 10 minutes, when in actuality, it should be more like 20, 25. So please watch all the way through. If you just, entertain me by doing it. And that's the support that really helps more than anything, get my videos out there. But don't feel like you have to. It's just asking for your assistance and your help. Another conservative Republican helping another conservative Republican. And that's the way we could fight back against these libtards that are out there kind of ruining everything for us. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a blessed Thursday. I will be back here tomorrow on Friday, as well as the weekend. With that being said, folks, I'll see you next time here on The Bo Brad Show.